Hey, how's it going, everyone? It's Tim Brown.
Tracy Kelly.
And today we're talking about 14 ways to promote your content besides SEO. You know we love SEO.
We love SEO.
I talk about SEO all the time. It's my favorite distribution strategy, but it's important that you have other distribution strategies. And the main thing is you don't want to be cornered into one promotion strategy or distribution. I'm using distribution and promotion interchangeably, but I always say this: don't create content without a distribution strategy. Don't create content if you don't know how it's going to get in front of people, because it's not if you build it, they will come.
No.
Certainly you can do one distribution strategy, which is, the SEO one, which is get keyword targets that people are actually searching and that you have a shot at ranking for. But then what else? What else is there? It shouldn't be just one.
And I still remember when I first started working here at Hook Agency, Tim pulling up, we were only a team of 5 back then, and sitting in the basement around the conference table, and Tim saying, look, we do SEO. We help people get found through SEO. But what would happen if Google disappeared tomorrow? What will we do? We need to know about other ways to distribute content. And he said, even if all of the power, I don't know if you remember this or not, but even if all the power was gone, we would literally go out and get blowhorns and yell to the streets, talk about this company or this company.
Yeah.
So it's been something that's been ingrained for me ever since I started working. It was just this idea of we need to be thinking about other ways of distribution, even though we as an agency focus on SEO.
And in the thumbnail, we had the bullhorn, right? Like, if we had to go on this street corner and blow bullhorns and tell people about companies and flip signs, we'd do that. I'm going to next week for Contractor Marketing Live. I'm going to visit a direct mail and print marketing company to see what they're doing. Anything else that you can get the word out about your company. And then we're talking about how to get the word out about the content. So you wrote content. Sometimes we've written the most amazing article, spent time, designed things, created, done expert route, done various things, and then less traffic than you thought there would be. So you got to figure out how to get more traffic. All right, let's do it.
Sweet. Well, make sure, number 1, always post to your 3 best social media channels. For us, it's Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Tim, tell me about Instagram.
So IG, you guys know, Instagram is not really about content distribution. I'm not saying you can't do the swipe up article or things like that. And honestly, to me, part of this is I'm just getting this out of the way. So the rest of the presentation is not just going to be about social media. There will be a little bit of other social media in this, but what it comes down to is that should just be baseline. Always put the piece of content out on at least your company page on whatever your 3 best ones are. They don't have to be this, right? It could be, I don't know, maybe you're killing it at TikTok. That one, Pinterest, I don't know. Whatever you're doing, your 3 best ones, make sure you're consistent. Make sure you put it out every single time. That's just baseline.
And again, just to as a reminder, when we're saying content, we are typically talking about blogs or articles, information written on your website.
Absolutely. 2, your email newsletter. Okay, so a little redundant if people come to your blog, but they're not coming to your blog. They're not just like refreshing it every day, like, oh, they put out another blog article. Now, actually, if you're my competitor, I don't really think of competitors that much, but we have a thing that pops into Slack where it puts RSS feed to Slack where it puts in their articles every day. So I actually do see your articles if you're a competitor, but generally people are not refreshing your blog every day, like looking for your new blog post.
Especially prospective customers. They don't care.
Yeah. So let's get it out to them in an email newsletter. I think a way to do this is just to take a fresh angle, pull out the best piece or hot take from the article, put it in the email newsletter. It's all about the headlines, right? It's all about the headlines and providing value quickly, using humor. Other ways to get them to actually click on the article. So you can have excerpts and maybe the key takeaways, and then a big button or a link to see the full article.
Hey, I'm curious, anybody watching, what you've seen for success with your email newsletter. So if you're watching this, feel free to comment, and Tim will be happy to answer any of your questions. The next one is put together a press release for original studies or for your best content. Besides reaching out, besides just reaching out through press releases, this can be a huge way to get information if you're doing a study.
Yeah. Also, we've got people that have featured this type of material before. And I mean, like, we've done original surveys, got 100 people to contribute. Maybe you were one of them. If you were, say hi. But ultimately, then you can shop that data to other people in the industry. Like, especially if you're like a niche, you're in this particular niche, you can really shop that data out to people. And you should, if you do an original study, don't just let it die on your blog. Shop that study out, talk to people that are already featuring studies like this elsewhere, and get them out there.
And a recent example of this type of content was in December of last year, we put together an original study about how marketing managers are using their time and where they wish they had more time for. And that, there were a ton of you that contributed to that. And that was an awesome press release that we put.
Yeah, I think one of the key takeaways from that, just for those of you who are curious, was that people are spending a lot of time on website edits and wanted to spend more time on strategy and targeting. So it's kind of interesting for us it was not only this original study for marketing, it was also an opportunity for us to understand our ideal customer better, which is obviously the most ideal scenario for an original study. You got any questions for us, Sam? Or is it just people hyping us up and being nice?
It's just people hyping us up and being nice.
Hey, thank you for hyping us up and being nice.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Okay, 4, include influence. Hey, can I call any of them out by name? Who's hyping us up?
We got Clay saying your ability to adapt to change is key. And then we've got
Clay.
Nick.
Agreed.
Paul.
Nick, Paul, thank you so much for interacting with us.
Appreciate
Anyone
it.
else on here, say what's up. We'll call you out by name. Appreciate you guys being here. So number 4, including influencers. Okay. I mean, 2018 called, it wants its influencers back. It wants its, yeah, dude, I know. Influencers it feels dead. It feels like a dead word, at least, like in marketing. We got it really hyped to us 2016, 2017, 2018. But here's the deal. God, I hate this. I hate it. It feels like buzzword monopoly or whatever. Bingo here. But here's the deal. It's micro influencers is what I'm talking about. And I'm serious. This is not bullshit. Built-in distribution, if you include these people. Just reach out for like a quote on the topic and make them look cool. Low to mid-level influencers who actually share stuff are better than the big people. I love these people, but I had Seth Godin as part of one of our guides. I had Grant Cardone as part of one of our guides. I had all these different people that are amazing, but they're a little too big to actually care to share.
Yeah, no sharing from those guys.
So, but then I have other people like that are part of our guides. Nick Leroy, I don't know if he's going to see this, but ultimately he shares, he puts it in his newsletter. He's all about it. He's about that life. And that's because it's like a little bit closer to our level where he feels like kinship with us and we have community with him. So I think what it comes down to is it's not about the reach. It's about what they're willing to do to help you and what you're willing to do to help them, really.
Yeah. Trade organization newsletters. So this is something that I did recently. We're involved with NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry. And
Shout out to NARI.
Shout out to NARI. In fact, next month is National Home Remodelers Month. So pay attention.
Nice.
So they put together a monthly newsletter, and here at Hook, we put together a ton of content on our own blog. And so we repurposed one of the blogs that I wrote during the pandemic about working from home, and they put it in their newsletter, and it was a great way to get that content up, but we also had a link back to the site.
Yep, and
I'm learn more. And
I'm talking to another trade organization right now about a promotion on their newsletter. So there's opportunities in different trade. A lot of them are actually promoting it very well in their emails, right? They're like, oh, sponsor this email, those types of things. Sometimes those are really good deals, and you have to look for good deals. It doesn't mean that just because it's an opportunity, meaning it's a good deal, you have to like weigh, hey, how expensive is this? But you could put some of your ad budget from just Google ads or whatever, trade shows or whatever, and take that and put it towards these newsletters. It really can help you. And you could do a strong call to action or a direct call to action. Like here's a deal, like we're $1,000 off your first month or for us, or something like a $500 coupon for Windows or whatever it happens to be. And then at the same time, you could have a transitional call to action promoting a guide that you did or something like that.
The key to this is really making sure that you understand who their audience is. Like Tim was kind of alluding to before, if you're going to spend time and money promoting your content in somebody else's newsletter, make sure they've got the same audience that you're looking for.
Absolutely. Any questions coming up yet, Sam?
No questions.
Feel free to talk to us here. Tracy and I would love some interaction. So if you're watching, appreciate it. Just me?
That's you, Tim.
All right, 6. Tag referral partners and content partners. Now, I'm starting to talk about this, like referral and content partners. Referral and content partners. Because it's way easier to refer somebody if you know them, and content like podcasts and guides together and things like that are easy ways to get to know each other. So like I said, I'm going out to visit a print partner, a referral partner next week for us, and I'm going to do some videos and stuff like that. Podcasts. I'm going to do a couple things. We're going to cluster some content, and then I said it from the very beginning when I talked to him. I'm like, I want a long-term referral relationship with you, and I'm going to feature you in our content. And tagging them helps give them an opportunity to spread the word. Some people want to spread the word about your company.
Exactly.
Some people love you. Some people in your industry love you already. They just want an opportunity to spread the word. If you feature them, if you tag them in relevant things, they will spread the word. They want to spread the word about you. Give them an opportunity to do it.
Create pinnable quotes and do inspiration of pins. So Pinterest is an awesome platform to create visual posts that will link back to your site. Tim, you've done an incredible job with some hook stuff, and then even for some of the clients that we work with.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is it's almost like you're going back to the content and thinking about this distribution strategy and like building in some blocks. Like, I think it's best to do for your best posts. It's hard to do for every single post, but let's say either, like in our case, it's like website inspiration, but in your case, it could be, decor or interior design inspiration. It could be products, right? But this Pinterest does great for products because ultimately it's just an image, and then when you click it, it goes right to the website. So it's a pretty big deal for a lot of companies. And then quotes do well. Basically, it's a fashion and vibe platform. A lot of you already know about it, but you may not be building it into your content, and so you can go back to your best content and do it. We got a question. So if promoting the newsletter, make sure that it's not to pay only based on list size, and the rate card is always negotiable. Ooh, those are really good ones.
The rate card is always negotiable.
Yeah, so if you get a price on those newsletters, don't assume that it's a done deal. Negotiate a little bit.
And that was from Clay?
Yeah, Clay. And he was also just saying, like, the list size, the actual number doesn't necessarily mean how effective it's going to be. So it really is about engaged audience.
Yeah.
So I guess you could probably ask them about, like, what's your average open rate and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. And again, as a marketer, what are the demographics of these? Who's the audience, right? I mean, that's the thing. We get pitched so many things all the time. The first question I ask is, who's your audience?
Yep, exactly. How did you get these emails? I guess would be the if you could ask it.
Tim, before you dive into that.
Oh, we got one more question here. Do you have a backlinking strategy within your content plan? Hey, that's a good one. So I feel like that touched Clay. I appreciate that very much. Just because we really appreciate the interaction, I'm going to go into it briefly, although this is touching on SEO. So we're not necessarily talking about SEO, but I love SEO, so I'm going to divert. It's a little diversion.
That's why we do it live. It's not pre-recorded.
Subplot. Yeah, this is way better when people interact with us, Clay, so I really appreciate it. So my favorite part of our SEO strategy right now is essentially building assets for the purpose of getting links. So I'm going to give you examples because it's easier to talk about that way for us. It's been the original studies. It's actually, we do statistics posts. We curate statistics, and we also create our own statistics through these original studies. And then we also have writer resources. So for us, those are some examples: original studies, statistics posts, and writers' resources. We create some of this content specifically to attract writers and people that want to link back to our site. So we create them and allow that. Basically, these types of things are like a honeypot for people to grab and then link back to our site. So this is that thing where you start to get these organic links back to the website and help build out your strategy. So if you are one of our clients and you see a statistics post in your content calendar, let it stand, because it's a very good strategy for getting more links. And anything that you can do on your website, think creatively. How can you help writers do their job? Because writers are the ones that are going to link back to you. So writer resources, statistics, things like that. People want to attribute to whoever shared the statistic with them. So you can be the one to do that. Even by just curating, you can create graphs, original graphs, and brand them so that they put your graph onto their blog, and they basically feel obligated to link back to you. So that's a great opportunity. Back to non-SEO stuff. Boom.
Again, and just for, some of us who are newer to SEO, right? Links and content are two critical pieces to SEO. That's why that was
yes.
kind of
Links back to your website are one of the biggest things for getting more traffic, and that's the high level of that.
Yep.
Is this me or you?
I think it's your turn, Tim.
Okay, turn the article into a podcast. Okay, so believe it or not, I like to just hammer this point home. No one cares about you. It's actually very freeing. I love that thought. No one cares about me. It's all about context. In this context, no one cares about you. Don't be so scared about doing the same content again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, this piece of content that we're making right now, I've probably done it like 5 times. Like the idea of, hey, how to get traffic without SEO. I've done it before, but it's going to be a good piece of content. We have a new spin on it. I've got Tracy here. Tracy makes it good. There's a lot of things going on. I want you to reuse and recycle your best topics. And in this case, we're talking about turning an article into a podcast. Because like I said, people are not refreshing that blog every day. Most people are not going to see that blog. Even if you promote it 7 times on social media, most people are probably not going to see that blog. So you can hit a different audience with the audio. And plus, this is the easiest way to do a podcast. You can make it super useful to people on the go. I can't read. I'm in the car. I'm busy. Your best customers are often busy. They got a lot going on. They're, often the best ones. So turning it into a podcast is another way to get that information out there.
I always tell Tim, there's a guy out there who talks about personal finance, Dave Ramsey. He wrote a book like 20, 25 years ago. He talks about the same 7 things every single day for 3 hours on the radio and turns it into a podcast. He's got a book, but it's literally the same 7 things.
But he interviews people. He interviews people. He dives into one little tiny detail of it.
You got it. And because of that, it is fresh. It is relevant. New things come up. New people listen. So you can talk about the same thing in different ways.
So you're a fan of the debt snowball.
You got it.
No, I like that too. All right. 9, republish on LinkedIn and Medium. Hey, here's the deal. LinkedIn and Medium are kind of like, they're almost like syndicated style websites where you don't, in general, you don't want to do duplicate content all around the web, but these are basically examples of platforms where it's not highly indexed by Google necessarily all the time, or it's a different audience that sits on Medium and reads articles on Medium, and people that sit on LinkedIn and read articles on Medium, sometimes they don't go to other websites, or LinkedIn, for instance, plays down your reach if you're linking off to a different website. So this is a way to get that content in front of people. And LinkedIn says, ooh, this is on LinkedIn. Let's keep people here on LinkedIn. Exactly. Let's put this in front of more people. This is like content engagement for us. So LinkedIn likes it because their ad revenue goes up. You like it because more people saw your content. Synergies. It's all about synergies today.
And buzzwords, apparently.
All about buzzwords. So we're really about buzzwords here.
So the next one is turn into a carousel for LinkedIn or Instagram. So LinkedIn, the best way to do it is through PDF, and Instagram is JPEG. The big thing that we found is the more infographic key. Is that a new buzzword? Did we just create? Tim, did you just create a new buzzword?
What?
Infographic key. And break out the key points. So again, these are visual platforms. So we want to make it as easy to scroll through as possible.
And does anyone know, does LinkedIn like those carousel posts? Does it likes those carousel posts, I think algorithmically, LinkedIn loves those carousel posts, and they also love polls right now. Tracy made me do like 5 polls last week.
Polls were getting a lot of reach. So you just got to pay attention to what's going on.
Exactly.
I think that's the biggest thing is pay attention to what is getting traction and push in it.
And hammer it, because it's going to be gone in 3 weeks. We're doing insane amounts of video on LinkedIn, and then LinkedIn's like, nah, I don't know if you get as much traction on that. So we're dabbling with these other things. Let's not keep hammering on the thing that we did 5 months ago just because it worked then.
Yeah, we just always have to remember these platforms are evolving and changing. Different priorities come up. So when you notice something that's working, go after it. If it starts not working, pivot.
And that's the tactics, right? The overall strategy, it usually relates like what a social media platform is preferring at the moment is usually related to what is keeping people engaged. Exactly. So they're watching on their analytics what's keeping people engaged. So ultimately, it kind of comes down to what's keeping people engaged. Then do that, figure that out, and that's the strategy that undergirds everything. That no matter, like I think about our employees. I'm going to kind of divert one little diversion here. They ask, "Is this going to be around? Is Google going to be around in 10 years, in 20 years?" I don't know, man. What it comes down to is get the strategy about keeping and helping people, keeping attention and helping people. Those are the strategies. Those are the underlying principles. And then the tactics are some of these things we're describing here. Clay says they are new, so they are adding additional algorithmic weight for promotional purposes. You're absolutely right, Clay. LinkedIn in particular has their ad platform is a little bit newer. So they're still trying to figure out what's going to, like Facebook is like fully matured, right? So they know how to they have it down to like a science, the very detail about what's going to keep people on there. It's very hard to get organic reach on Facebook, especially for pages. Use your personal site, use your personal stuff. Okay, next. Hey, what's up, Panara?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Panara, good to see you, bro. All right, so we got 11 answers on answers cues.
Tim answers cues on Quora,
yeah.
Nextdoor, and other.
I made this presentation, so I take full responsibility for this. Answer cues on Quora, Nextdoor, and other Q&A. Basically, you can leave an excerpt of the article in the answer because basically people are asking questions about what you wrote an article about. Leave an excerpt that answers it briefly and then link back to the full article. This is a great underutilized strategy for a lot of people. Nextdoor, we think about contractors, right? And construction companies. A lot of home services companies, the questions are being asked on Nextdoor. The question, and I know a buddy of mine who like lived off of Nextdoor just doing handyman work. So there's certainly opportunity there. Our favorite thing is when you get referral partners. So on Facebook groups for locations and on Nextdoor, like having other people interacting for you, so it's not just you promoting yourself over and over. You basically have referral partners.
This is how I found my tax accountant this year. It was on a Facebook group, just like that. Someone was like, "Hey, looking for a tax person," and they just dropped the link on there with a link to the calendar, and it was just
beautiful.
Done.
I like that.
My money.
And you've got the opportunity. Like I say this one a lot, but I just want to reiterate: if you're a roofer, get a landscaper that refers you the business. And vice versa. So then the roofer can promote the landscaper and vice versa. So get referral partners that are also pumping you up on these Facebook groups and on Nextdoor. If you do it back and forth, it can be really worth it, and it feels cleaner than just promoting yourself.
And I just want to make a statement there. You just, made the example roofer and landscaper. Well, why is that significant? Because you share the same audience.
Yeah.
So it goes back to that idea that when you're doing these cross-promotional, make sure these people have the same audience.
Exterior. All right.
Go live with one key idea from the content. Facebook. LinkedIn, they like live right now. It's
Yeah, YouTube does too. It gets you your other videos higher in the algorithm. So algorithms apparently love live. So that's why we're here.
So the big thing is, and this is kind of what we're doing right now, which is taking a component of the content and really focusing in on that, having a candid conversation, getting some interaction. That's why we didn't do this pre-recorded, is because we wanted to have some conversations with folks.
Yeah, this is so much better. This to me is way more fun than just doing this piece of content without anyone. So Clay, you made this video way better. We got send Google. I got one last one that's going to be amazing. So stay tuned. But send Google paid traffic and Facebook promoted posts. Basically, you really want to save. This is actually kind of like next level, and you got to make sure it's high converting content. You don't want to do this for a blog post that's like super top of funnel, soft. We don't know. I don't know if I want to have a call to action. That's not this piece of content. I'm talking about something with a form at the bottom. Like, you are promoting this post, you're spending money on it. It should have a form at the bottom of it. It's like, all right, next step. And actually the copywriting should be built in such a way that it's intended to convert. And that's really important here. All right, we got one last note here. We got web and social seem to be more evergreen for your agency targeting roofing companies. Are you doing any seasonal specific organic or paid content for your clients, such as recent location-based storms that caused roof damage? Yes, particularly we often do landing pages surrounding storms for clients. We have seasonal, all of our content calendars tend to be a little bit more seasonal because we do work with a lot of companies that are focused on the exterior of homes. So yes, absolutely, we do that. And I think you should be thinking about it too. If you're not a client of ours, just thinking about what time of year is it? If spring's coming up, what do we got? We got leaks. We got, what do we got? We got mud in the yard. What do we got? We got different things going on. Always thinking about how to hit them with that content, especially if you're thinking about social as the distribution strategy. How do we hit them with that content in a timely way? And there's always a balance, right? Because you got to have a human interest piece and answer something that matters now. And you want it to have a keyword target, because you don't want to just create content that goes away after, that thing is done. So you want to try to get it ranked on Google. So all these matter, but always have a keyword target. All right. So lastly, I'll let you do this one.
Involve your team, interact with others. So this has been just a big thing for us here at Hook, and we've seen it with other companies, is let your team know when you're posting. The more interactions you've got, the more visibility you get. Social is all about interacting with other people. So
you guys haven't seen like Hook Agency just commenting on each other's stuff or anything, right? On LinkedIn? No, I'm just kidding.
Apparently you haven't looked at any. Hook
but
posts.
I'm trying to get more bold with this, because ultimately, a lot of our audience is on Facebook, and being open to using your personal profiles on social media channels, because honestly, no one wants to interact with the company. If this was on our Hook Agency company page, I think it would flop. Honestly, people want to interact with people. How can you involve more of your personal profiles? If you don't want to do that, basically just call your social media strategy for the year a flop, or just it's all paid. You're all paid. Enjoy that. It sucks. I don't want to do all paid. I want to do organic stuff.
I think that's a really good point that you're making here, which is at the end of the day, business is people working with people.
Yep.
And so that's something that we've seen, especially with roofing contractors, is the contractors that are getting out there, putting their face in front of the camera, getting involved with their community. They're the ones that are growing faster. They're the ones that have the longevity than the folks that have, they're basically got a generic website without any personality. Because if you are inviting somebody to your home, you want a person. You want to know who you're working with. You don't want just some nameless corporation that you don't know if they're who they are, how you can get a hold of them. And I think we're seeing that across a lot of industries, and it's been big for us as well.
And so can you involve your different personalities on the team? Can you actually bring out some of the reality? Like we always see behind the scenes content works really well at home services companies. Can you take unique angles and perspectives? Can you not say the same thing? Corporate speak, can you avoid saying micro influencers and synergy? I'm just kidding. No, the point is you also want to interact with each other. You want to make it into a conversation as much as you possibly can if you want to actually drive social traffic. So I have a strong opinion on this. It's basically that if you're just going to post from your company page, you might as well not even do social media. You might not have as strong of a opinion as me. But hey, I'm taking a unique angle and a perspective, right?
And let's just talk about the reality. It's based on the fact that how many hours have we spent on social media in the last 2 years?
Yeah.
Probably too many.
Probably too many.
But there's been a lot of learnings through that, which is at the end of the day, the personal pages get the interaction.
Yeah, we've had a lot of failure. We've tried so many things. Part of the reason that we do so much, I'll wrap it up on this, is we do so much on social media because we're practitioners and we're experimenting. And we're trying to learn principles that then we can apply to all the other marketing that we do. I see a lot of marketing agencies out there that are not practitioners, that don't do it for themselves. So they have no skin in the game and they struggle with the principles that then they can't apply any principles to the rest of their marketing, even if they're doing it for company. They're just pissing the budget down the drain. Too strong, too far, Tim. No.
Clay says, mic drop.
Yeah, no, but I really appreciate you guys watching this. It's fun. We'll try to fail wildly and flail wildly on these, so it's at least entertaining. That's all I care about. I appreciate you guys caring and watching for a bit.
Thank you.
Bye.